ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं कर्वावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Om Shri Sai Ram. Good afternoon. Welcome to all of you. Embodiments of divine love. I want to share a story with all of you because we're all part of a big story. And some of us know bits and pieces of the story. Some have heard, you know, depending upon at what time we entered, we picked up few fragments of the story, but I would like to share the whole story with you today. What brings us here today and why we should celebrate this moment of togetherness. It's a very beautiful time that has come upon us. And we must understand the beauty and the enormity and the magnificence of this present moment, this time. And we must expand our hearts with joy, with that love, because this is what we all have been waiting for. These are beautiful times. And to be able to experience these times, our mind must get quietened. Our mind must grasp the picture fully so that it can be at ease, so that it can allow the spirit to reveal itself, so that it can experience the beauty and grace of what is happening and what is going to come. Because between us and our experience of the truth, of our light, of our divinity, only stands the mind. And it's a good time to put the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together so that we can fully be present in the present moment, so that our heart can soak in this love that is beginning to flow from the source of creation. So the story goes long time back. No one knows the timeline, but our Lord was sitting in the garden and enjoying the beauty of all that was created in nature. And he experienced great love in his heart. He experienced the beauty of what he had created. And what he had created was magnificent. And he was reveling in this joy which comes from the lightness of the spirit, which comes from being one with when the creator becomes one with his creation. And he realized that this joy had to be spread, this joy had to be shared. And he said, why don't I share it with others? But there was no other. So he said, let me start replicating my own self so that there are many more of my own selves who can enjoy the beauty, the grace, the love, and the joy of this creation. Because what's the use of having a beautiful thing? Yeah, we make a beautiful painting, yeah, and there is no one to appreciate it. There's no one to value it, to enjoy it. It's such a waste, isn't it? So the Lord said, let me create more people, more aspects of the same self, so that what I have created can be enjoyed. And he created exact replicas of himself, not physically, not that they looked the same, they were not clones of each other, but in the sameness, he put a beautiful thing called the heart. And he put the same heart in everybody. But he wanted diversity because nature is so beautiful and diverse. No two trees are alike, no two plants are alike, no two flowers are alike, no two birds are alike. He therefore wanted to create us differently. He wanted to make us look beautiful. He wanted to make us look with different features, different color of the skin, of the hair, as is present in the room today and on the call. And he started to, and we all started to come in and we started to experience the joy of this beautiful planet. And his whole idea was that each one should remain in the awareness of the truth of our source, of who we truly were, that we were the embodiments of that divine love that created all that exists in this universe. But as we came along and as we started to see this beautiful world, we started to get attached to this world. We started to have our preferences. Some liked a particular tree, the other liked another tree. Some liked a particular bird, some liked another one. Some liked another person looking, more attractive, and the other found another one attractive. And we slowly started to get into our likes, and we also started to dislike some things. And slowly, as time went by, we started to, whatever we liked, we wanted to own and we wanted to possess and we wanted to make it our own. And then we wanted to keep it for ourselves and we lost the quality of sharing with others. And we started to go away and away from our truth. And as the time passed, as the generations came, we started to go further and further away from the truth, further and further away from the source of everything that was created. We got further and further away from the Creator, and we lost our link. And the Lord, in His mercy, and the Lord, in His glory, allowed this to happen because He knew how this story will play out. Because, of course, we're part of the story, as I said. And the story is beautiful, despite the wars, and despite the battles, and despite the famines, and despite the floods, and despite whatever. It is a very beautiful story because no story of the Lord is incomplete or out of context or out of place, because the one that has created the story is the perfect being. And so, therefore, he wanted to bring us back to that understanding. When a child loses his way, then over a period of time, by making mistakes, the child finds his or her way back home. And he knew that his children will ultimately find their way back home, back to the source, back to that one connection, back to that one universal whole. And he allowed us to continue to separate ourselves from the source. Because remember, he never put a timeline to it. Or if he put a timeline in the story, he never shared the timeline with us. Because time is a concept which is created by man. God did not create something called as time. In the other dimensions from where we come, some of us, it's timeless reality. We exist in multiverses, we exist in realities at the same time simultaneously. You and I are here, and we are here, we are there somewhere else as well. Such a beautiful story. A one story that has not been told too frequently, and it's a story that has not been understood by us fully. And therefore, in our isolation, in our limited understanding, we view it with our set of beliefs, understanding. And and so therefore we always have been viewing it in our limited lens. So the Lord said there will be a time when the lens will be wiped clean and we will start to see the reality and we will start to experience what the truth of our existence is. Because the truth of our existence is our truth. The truth of the Lord is our truth. As is above, so is below. Right? And if we think that these buildings where you stay are your homes, we are very comfortable in our homes when we say we want to go back home, we are coming from our home. But is it really our home? Is this place where we really and truly belong? Or is this sojourn on this planet a very temporary visit? All of us know that we have to go. None of us knows when that time is. Maybe it is in a few minutes, maybe in a few hours, few days, few months, few years, who knows? But one thing is certain, all of us have to go. But where are we going? We're going from where we have come. So when you go back from where you come, is that called a home? Isn't that a home where you go back to? So is this building or this place where you have your favorite things and your favorite sofa and a favorite chair and a favorite bed, is that truly your home? Actually, your home is going to outlast you. You're there, tomorrow is going to be somebody else's. Before you, it belonged to someone else. Yeah. And after 3 generations, your great grandchildren won't even know your name. And you think it's your home. And who do you want to leave this back to? Your children, so that they can leave it to your children. And we have been like this. We have just divided and divided and divided ourselves, and we have separated ourselves from the truth layer upon layer, generation upon generation. And today we find ourselves with so many diseases in our body, with so many problems, because there is no problem at all. Body is just a reservoir of all that we have stored from generations. It has been passed on to us by our ancestors. and we've stored it in this body. Our our current state is because of who we are, and who we are is what has been passed on to us by our parents, and in turn their parents, and so on. But we must take the responsibility to change the story now. And we have the power to clear all the lineage. In fact, one realized soul who realizes the truth of who he or she is can redeem all the ancestors above. That's the responsibility each generation has been given, but we haven't fulfilled it. We haven't done justice to not only our own precious birth, our precious lifetime, but we haven't done justice to the chance that was given by our ancestors to be here today. We signed up for this. We came here for this, Adam. And we got caught in the attractions and charms and trinkets of the world. And we got lost in raising a family and raising a place and raising a home and then getting it repaired. And then in the old age, we sit home with caregivers, waiting for that time when we can be released. Is that life about? Is that why we really came? Is a question that we must ask. And you're all here today because you have asked this question to yourself. We are all looking for an answer. We are all praying to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. There are no three, there is only one. Because remember, everything came from that one. Duality is a part of this planet. Everything is in duality here. But duality is a necessary condition for us to experience that actually behind duality lies oneness. If this playground or this big university called life, if it was a perfect place, then we wouldn't have evolved in our consciousness. We would have remained who we are. To make it interesting, duality, complexity, imperfection is actually brought in. So that when we overcome that, when we face a challenge, is when the best in us comes out. We are lazy otherwise. We like to plonk ourselves in our favorite sofa, read our favorite book, go to Netflix and look at our favorite shows and have a beer and some crisps. Yeah? And that is what we would like to do. So God knew that this is what's going to happen. And we're going to give in to our temptations. And we are going to get caught. And then we say, we define our rules, and our mind takes over. And our mind just strangulates us, doesn't allow us to be, because we came as human beings, not as human doers. And therefore, we have been trying to control and manipulate because everybody wants more and more. And we've lost the gift of sharing. We've lost the gift of caring, of compassion, of love, of what selflessness is all about. But as we say, a famous expression I've heard ever since I've come to England, which I wouldn't want to repeat ever again, but I'm just sharing it. It's a favorite expression of people that I meet here. They say, no worries. Yeah. And I'm amazed that, in just one breath, in two words, we've used all negativity possible. We say no and we say worries. Because we've got to be very careful with the words we choose. Because the words we choose create our reality. They have the power to transform or to debilitate us. It's a choice of what we use. So I had this guy who was serving us in a bar, in a pub, some food, and he kept coming to serve. Every time he came, and he said, "No worries, no worries." Finally, I'd had enough of that. I made him sit down next to me, and I explained to him what he was doing. And he said, "Oh gosh, I never, realized what I was doing." I said, "Okay." So we kind of try to figure out what's a better phrase for us to use. So let's be careful, because every moment, our karma is not with our action. Our karma starts at the point of our thoughts, because thoughts get translated into our words, and words start get translated into our actions. So the point where we need to be aware is, what are our thoughts? But we have learned to be diplomatic and nice. We never say the things that we are thinking. And what we are saying is what we don't do. So that is where we are as a society and as a culture. We want to be polite, we have to be diplomatic. But by doing that, we are just taking ourselves back into an alley, into a dark corner. So, for God's sake, if we can really have the courage to think what we are here for, and to somehow find the right words to express it, and then have the courage to live it in life, is actually what the Lord wanted from us. So in the Upanishads, we call it three Karan Shuddhi, which three means three. Karan means actions. Shuddhi means purity. If we can purify our thoughts and align these thoughts with the words, so what we mean is what we say, and what we say is what we mean, and we start simply just following this one little thing, I think you can start changing all the realities. To me, that is the definition of truth. Till we figure out what that one truth is, till that time, till we reach that point, we have our own truths. Right? Each one holds very dearly their truth. But what is truth? What is understanding of truth, other than what the Oxford and the Cambridge dictionary will tell you? Truth is something which is permanent, which is not subject to change. Truth is something which cannot be destroyed, which is not subject to disease, death, decay. Because truth is, truth was, truth shall be. Truth doesn't change with every changing circumstance. Politicians change, their promises change, but truth doesn't change. So, what is that truth that we have is only known to us? Are we living our truth at least? Or are we living the truth of either our parents or our spouses or our children or our neighbors or or our religion, or whatever? What is our truth? And if we can start aligning at least whatever truth we have, if we can at least be honest to ourselves and truthful to at least ourselves, are we practicing what we believe in? Are we fully in alignment? If you are fully in alignment with your truth, I can tell you, you cannot have a problem in your body, because everything is today psychosomatic. It's coming from us. We're carrying so many secrets in ourselves. We are carrying so many tensions in our body. We are carrying so many anxieties and tensions, which we God knows where they're coming from. We're holding conscious mind, subconscious mind. And therapists are having a great time. This is the best time to be a therapist. I know a lot of you are, but the reality is the reason this has happened is because we have been successively, generations upon generations, going further and further away from the truth. And that's all. So, why am I telling you this story? Because remember, I said there's a good part to the story, and we are here for a celebration. But I had to lay the context. The good news is it's a time when the story changes. It's when that story takes a very beautiful turn because it is the time to go home. It is the time to go to our real home. And what might that be? Anyone? Go to go to our source. What is our source? Love is our source. Remember, same heart, and what resides in the heart is love. And what else resides in our heart is the Lord. Because Lord is love. Yeah. We pray to Jesus because his message was a message of love. The name became famous and we forgot the love. We kept praying to Jesus, but we never prayed to love. We never prayed to his message. We never practiced his message. And every Messiah, every avatar, every teacher worth his salt, whoever came on this planet, only brought the message of love. And he said, you are love. You are embodiments of divine love. And you have forgotten who you truly are. Let's go back home. Home is not that brick and mortar or wood structure that you call us. Home is right here with you, in your hearts, as we step in, as we experience the purity, the joy, and just that light that you have. It's all there. You don't have to go looking for it in a church or in a temple. You don't have to go in the Himalayas. You don't have to go in forests. You don't have to sit on a side of a beach. I am pretty much at home right now here because I am amongst my family members. You may not know me, but I know all of you because I recognize the love in your hearts. And that love does not differentiate. That is not your love and my love. Love is simply love, it's attributeless. No one can claim any copyright or trademarks to it. Nobody has to be taught what is love. It comes to us naturally. We experience it. We don't think love. We don't make lists on love. We don't do to do lists on love. Love just comes here and it stays. And that's the way of the Lord, how he communicates with us. He communicates to us through love. He touches our heart with love. He tells us his presence through. And no matter how we look, and no matter what, people will tell us we belong to different countries and religions and faiths and this and that, because we've been divided, we've been manipulated, we've been told many things, and we have just believed that. But all of us are wanting to experience this because we know the joy comes from here. And the time has come for us to now let go of all the differences that we have held on to, that have kept us separated from each other, that has kept us divided, that has kept us isolated from our own truth and experience the joy of the love of the Lord in our heart. And today we will experience that. We will experience the presence. And no matter what the world is going to go through, no matter how many upheavals are going to be coming in the coming days, because they must. Because when the new world is being created, this world, our planet has ascended to a very high dimension now. It has gone much beyond what we expected, because that is what is the future that has been willed for this planet. And this time is coming, but we must see the old go away. Like Lindsay bought a lovely place, but there was an old house and an old bungalow over there. They had to bring it down before the new one had to be created. The old and new cannot coexist. For some time they must. As the new is coming in, the old first has to be brought down. So all the old structures and all the old as we have known it and we've got attached to it is going to be brought down. And when it crumbles down, and it will crumble in front of your eyes, all you need to hold on to is this love with the detachment, the same detachment with which the Lord has watched us go away from Him. Because He's also witnessed us, doing funny things. And He's allowed us to do it. He's allowed us, but He has never judged us. He's never judged us because we are His very own. So do not hold any judgment against anyone for what is going to come and what will happen. The old just goes down and the new comes up. That's the way, that's the only way it happens. And we watch it as we have watched the happenings before in previous lifetimes as well. And we will watch this, but we will hold the joy in our heart. We will hold the light in our heart. That is why we are here today. We are all practitioners of light, and we have to share this light during this time. As we awaken to our own light, to our own truth, this light has to be shared. So we have a great service to perform. But first, experience that love within yourself. You cannot love all. My master said, love all, serve all. But my master did not tell you that the first step is love yourself first. Because we cannot give to others what we don't experience in ourselves. This love in our heart has to start coming out. Open the lock of this home where you have captured this love and you're not letting it out. You just sneak it out only for your children and your spouses and your parents. Come on, let's not be stingy. Let's open the gates today. Let it flow. Let this love come out. It's got to be shared. It's not for us. And anything, even for tears to flow, there has to be a source. Have you seen a river? A river starts from a spring or starts from the mountains and it flows and it flows, knowing fully well that it's going to merge in the sea, knowing fully well that it's going to lose its identity. But that doesn't stop it from flowing. It doesn't care about its existence. It just only knows how to flow. When does the flow stop? If you were to make a dam on the river, right? But from the source, it will still flow. Instead of flowing into the sea, it will flow into the dam. But the nature of this consciousness, this God, this whole presence that is there is because it follows the principle of flow. And when we stop somewhere and when we lock it somewhere, then it doesn't flow further. But if you want to experience abundance in your lives, then open the gates. Open the gates of your heart. Open the gates of your windows of your home. Let this light come in. Let this love start to flow. Take out all the things you've never used in the last 6 months. Empty your places so that more of it can come in. Empty your heart. Empty all that you've been holding in. And let this new energy come in. Let's transform. And let's start to dance and celebrate in this new wave, this new consciousness, on this new earth. And be the holders of this light. Be the beacons of this light. Because, it's easy to say, as is above, so is below. How will the below start to work out? It won't happen on its own. It's not that, the Lord just flicks a switch on and, everything starts to happen. It is one by one. The lamp of love, the lamp of light. The beauty of this lamp is that from this candle, if you were to light 100 candles, the light of this candle will not reduce. So, one heart full of love sparks another heart where the love is waiting to glow. And then this glow starts to spread. That's the only way it will happen. This grid of light, we are traveling across the world, inspiring and lighting this lamp of love. My Lord said, the first message he gave, he said, I am God, you are also God. I have come here to tell you and to give you the experience of your divinity. I have come here to light the lamp of love in your heart so that it grows over a period of time and it becomes such a bright light that it starts to give light to hundreds and thousands around. Right? And therefore, it's a time of great responsibility, of great compassion. But for that, first, let these hearts start flowing with love. Because that's where the shift of consciousness is. If we don't open today, then we shouldn't regret that we didn't get an opportunity. And why shouldn't we open it? Because we've been all waiting for this. We've been wanting this. Our souls have been aching for this. Isn't it? I've learned a few expressions here. We're all one. So many hearts together in this love. Just imagine the power this room has today, and so many of us across the world joining us on Zoom. Just imagine the collective power we are raising right now. Just imagine the immensity of what we can do and what we can shift. We're not helpless. You do not even realize the beauty and power of your truth. I have just come here to remind you of your divinity, your light. I'm just wanting to inspire you so that you can step into your light. And don't do it alone. Join hands. This, if, there is no battle. I tell you, there is no battle that we are fighting. There's nothing. We are on a mission which is beautiful. So the two worlds are operating simultaneously. We choose which world we are part of. If we are part of the world of love and light, and we come together, and this world starts gathering speed. Lindsay had a beautiful vision where she saw that we were all like Mercury, and we were all kind of coming together. Yeah, because you cannot keep blobs of Mercury away. It's a very beautiful vision, Shika. In fact, last night it was so beautiful. She was describing to me uh, her, meditations that she conducts, and she talks about, this place where she takes everybody in, and there are these lions, and then we go into a crystalline temple, and she talks about that, and she talked about a lotus and the crystals, and I told her that that's a temple which is already being has already been designed, because I had shared something with her, and then she shared her meditation, and exact what she describes is actually on a architectural plan already designed. So there are no coincidences, there are no synchronicities. We're all here for a reason. Why did we had a yesterday a beautiful endless tea party where we everybody who was meant to be there kept just popping in, and we were all trying to trace back the origins and trying to share what we had to with the gifts that we have, that the Lord has given us. So just imagine, for how many years you've been conducting this meditation?
Um, well, it really changed and intensified pre-COVID. Actually, we did a meditation every day. In COVID, so that's about 3 years ago.
3 4 years, yeah.
3 or 4 years ago,
Yeah.
when it shifted.
Right. So it was 3 or 4 years. She's, we don't know about that, but we have the exact images of that. Sonia, if you are on the call, I think you have the pictures that we had drawn. So if you can WhatsApp that to me, and I can share it with Lindsay. Okay. So there you are. It's happening, and I just started to share with her about the two lions that always walk with me on my left and right. And I was telling her about these lions, and I told them that they're present here. And then she suddenly talked about the lions. And then, from the lions, we went into crystals, and then we, talked about. So, uh, this is the power of these times. So, my coming here is no coincidence. Uh, when, as we say, the Lord said, when the time is right. When the time is right, then the next chapter of the story we turn. And I've been traveling in England for about 3 to 4 weeks now. I've been to Glastonbury, I've been to Stonehenge, Avebury, I've been to Malvern Hills, I've been to Wales, and I've been to quite a lot of places, and now here. And we've been going to all those energetic centers and portals, and you name it. And we've been reactivating back to the grid of light, because things were pretty dark. Even here, it wasn't very pretty, but it's all now opening up. So this is the work, and there are many of us who started to come out and do what we have to do. So there is a plan, because the master storyteller is at work, and it's a time of great rejoicing, and it's a time of beautiful celebration, and we have to just detach ourselves, because nothing that you think is yours belongs to you. These were all toys given to us to play with when we came on this planet. Yeah. And therefore, play with them. Don't get attached to them, because they are not yours in any case. So, therefore, Like he witnesses everything. I used to think my master, he took birth, and I'm talking of Satya Sai Baba, and he was here, and he watched these world wars happening, and all these major catastrophes that hit this planet, and how many have suffered and died. But why didn't it touch his heart, right? Because in fact, it's him only. And I asked this question to him, and he answered, but who's dead? Who has died? He says, all the bodies are mine, and I am beyond birth and death. From where I come from and where you come from, we are one. This is a temporary coming in and out. Your problem is you lost the understanding that you are not this body. And you started to get attached to this idea that I am this body. And therefore, so much of emphasis on the body, on our looks, on our health, on our everything. We're obsessed. I eat all the wrong things, by the way. Okay. They say, you want to please him, give him lots of sugar to eat and lots of salt in his food. Okay. I don't care about hypertension, about diabetes, about this or that, because I live a life of clear conscience, and I live my truth. Okay. And nothing comes in the way of that. And I enjoy what I enjoy. Right. I have no guilt in when I eat. I have no guilt in when I do things. I live with a clear conscience, and I have seen people with clear conscience living as long as they want to live. Right. Everything else the society has put on us, don't do this, 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 trapped us. Get trapped by so many philosophies, so many thoughts, so many ideologies, so many opinions, so many theories, so many permutations and combinations, and so many that I don't know where it is. We've just got lost in that, in the labyrinth. There is a one great superway, highway, express to the golden gates of consciousness. But what have we done? We've left the motorway and we've gone into the A, whatever's 10s and A13s and A whatever, and then slowly into the small lanes, into the colonies, and we've got stuck in traffic jams with the speed limit is 20. Yeah. But we were meant to go on a motorway, which was no speed limit. We could rise. But these attachments hold us down. That's all that keeps us from connecting to not just your own truth, but because remember, your truth and my truth and the truth of the Lord is the same. There is no two. Two was never created, there was only one. How can your truth and my truth be different? Because truth is only one and truth is changeless. How can because my truth is going to change with me and your truth is going to change with you. How can that be truth? How can your body be your truth? Because your body is going to die. It's going to be, it's going to have problems. Some surgeon might go and take out something out of it. This can't be your truth. Yeah, it is not permanent. What, the pharaohs tried it. They tried to mummify everybody and they thought, what is the truth? Let's try to maintain it. Look, we're unrolling the bandages. That's not the truth. So if my body is not my truth, then what am I fighting about? What am I trying to protect and hide, and where am I caught? Is my focus on the right thing, or am I just getting distracted in these small lanes, speed limit of 20? Or am I moving on? It's because I don't have clarity. I don't have clarity of what life is. I don't understand why I've come. Who am I truly? Therefore, we are lost. We're like blind men looking at, feeling a elephant and figuring out what this elephant looks like. Somebody says it's bushy. Somebody touches a leg and says it's a long, big thing. Somebody holds a trunk and says defines it that that's it. Because none of us understands it fully. Because we've forgotten our truth. And the minute that truth comes to us, there's clarity. There is no fight. There's nothing to protest and demonstrate about. There is nothing good or evil in this world. It's an expression of the same divinity. If bad wasn't there, good couldn't be revealed. That's the duality. Who wants to be a bad guy? Tell me. Who wants to be a bad guy? Nobody. But if you don't have a bad guy, good will not come out. Bad was created only so that good could come. Everything is a springboard for something to happen. Creation is night and day. Creation is good and bad. Nothing exists by itself. Nothing exists on its own. Male and female, yin and yang, masculine, feminine come together. Everything has a perfect plan in this creation. And everybody is playing, everybody, all of us are playing a perfect role in that perfect creation. There's nothing imperfect in this world. Imperfection lies in our understanding, in our worldview. If we could understand the design aspect of the Lord, of the masterpiece that He has created for us to play in, it's just fantastic. But that we need this. Because the heart knows the truth. That's what we say, no? The heart knows the truth. The mind lies, the mind gives us plans, the mind tries to cheat us. But we need the mind as well. With the mind in control, the heart in control, the mind follows and executes orders very well. We need them. But the control has to be in the hands of the heart. And then this partnership works very well. Because remember, who's in the heart? The Lord. Love is in the heart. And when love is in control, and the mind is a servant of love, what beauty. And the example of this beauty is this creation, because the Lord created it because of the love. Just imagine what each one of us can do, and especially each one of us coming together, hand in hand, bringing our light together. We are a force to reckon with. We are a power like never before if we can all join hands together and do this together. Because this is not something to be done by one person. Yeah? Some hold more light, some hold lesser light. But together, when we join them, it becomes one light. Wow. All differences merge. And that's why we've come. That's why we chose to be here on this planet at this time. Because we wanted to be part of a spectacle that has never happened before. We all chose and we actually said, yes, we are going, we are going, we are going, we are going. Because we don't want to miss the biggest party in this cosmos. So who wants to miss such a beautiful time? But, if you have a ringside view to such a beautiful party, then we have to play our role, right? We just can't sit there and say, I'm going to just enjoy the party and I don't do nothing. Yeah. Even with, you can have your crisp and your beer. Adam is not here, but spread your light. Let's do it. So shall we do it?
Yes.
Shall we do it?
Yes.
Let's do it. And together we do this. Together we do this. No one alone does it. We are a family, one world, one family. In the Bhagavad Gita, they say that we are all this one beautiful family called Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Vasudeva is that this whole world is one big family. Yeah. When these differences that exist in the mind, when they get removed, and when the love which is there in the heart that comes together, we become one world, one family. uh, Lindsay had pointed it out, and she pointed it out also again when we reached the St. Michael's Mount and we went inside in the church. And that image is so powerful. And I want to tell you that that is the image of the times. And there is inside there, as you would all have seen, there is a kind of a statue of Saint Michael's with a sword in his one hand, and in the other hand he is trying to you know uh, put his hand across for the for whatever want of a better word, a demon or a devil who he has been able to subjugate. So to me it is an expression of these times, because love has come back with such a force now. Love has allowed you know the the non-love, let's call it like that, to prevail for a long time. But it's now reclaiming with a power and a force that has never been seen before on this planet. It's coming roaring back like those lions. Okay? Absolutely. Which spills out then on the whole ecosystem of the entire earth. Absolutely. But this time, the difference is that this lion doesn't want to eat its prey. The lion is saying, I'm giving you a chance and I'm going to help you to come up. Okay? This lion doesn't devour. This is a lion where the lion, the lamb, and the dove they come together. And this is the vision that my Lord had shown me of this land called Kailasa, uh, where he showed me that I was sitting there on a chair outside on the porch on the balcony of my cottage, and I had my lions here, and I had the lamb here, and I had the dove on my head. And this is the vision he showed me of the times when there'll be no fear, when then we are not going to, start cutting each other up, and we are together. And only love can make that bridge where everybody can cross and come together as one. And one more thing, Sandy, now that we are having our conversation, which we waited for from so many planets and so many dimensions and timelines, that, you know, every darkness has been waiting for this moment. Because in the heart, all darkness wants to be redeemed. They have been waiting more than us for this moment to arrive. They are more willing and more than ever ready this time to let go, because they have served their time and their purpose, and they also want redemption.
Glad you said that.
Yes, it is, my dear. I speak the truth. It's that moment that has arrived. And therefore, it comes with that power, the force, the authority. It was very funny, just a day before the full moon, when we arrived here, it was also in India, we have the 10 avatars of Vishnu, and one of them is half man, half lion, called the Narasimha. So it was the Narasimha Jayanti, it was his birth anniversary. So, and of late, in my experiences, we have all these divine beings and gods and goddesses coming together. And he had been coming many times, and many of us have been experiencing his presence. And he is that he's like that duality. Half, love, and half is that ferocity of an animal, of a lion. And and he kept telling me that this time there is no stopping. This time I am out and I'm going to achieve my goal, and nothing can stop on the way. And then coming here, and then going to St. Michael's Mount, and we did what clearing needed to be done from the energetic standpoint. And once that was done, to see that image over there was so powerful. Actually, it tells us about, of what these times are about, of this still giving a helping hand and saying, come, I have not come to wipe you out like you have wiped. I've come here to redeem you. I've come here to extend my hand in love. And that is what makes it so beautiful. This has never happened before. We've always done an eye for an eye, right? But Jesus didn't give that message. He said, give the other cheek, right? So it's shifting. Now, if you believe in it, you can step into it. If you think it's one more fairy tale and one more story somebody came and told you, and you've heard many stories before, that's okay too. Because after all, what we do depends upon the choices we make. We live the life of choices we have. And we are a sum total of all the choices we have made till now. And why would it be different in future? It is as it is.